Welcome to Pursuit of Perfect System and my best hi-fi home cinema and headphone products of 2020. And as just one man, it's very difficult to see anything more than a very small percentage of what was released or available to buy in 2020. This video is going to be a longer one with lots to cover, so there are chapter markers down below which will make it easier for you if you want to skip around. And I've tried to keep the categories as simple as possible. In order for a product to win an award, I either have had to reviewed it in 2020 or spent a considerable amount of time with it. A quick listen at a show, not that there's really been any shows this year, but you know, that type of quick listen at any type of event doesn't count. It needs to be considerable time or review. So I'm going to start with a juicy topic, the best amplifier of 2020. And I've seen quite a variety of amplifiers this year. The best integrated amplifier that I got to listen to and review in 2020 was very easily the Griffin Audio Diablo 300. Now this is a real beast of an integrated amplifier that has, you know, real authority, power and control over speakers. And with the Griffin Diablo 300, I was really able to push my KEF reference 3 speakers to deliver, you know, a massive impactful bass that was really clean and clear. I think the Diablo 300 as an integrated amplifier is probably one of the best integrated amplifiers in the world if you want that raw power, that raw authoritative power type of sound. So that was definitely a standout product in 2020. And I think completely different to that, another standout amplifier this year was the Chord Electronics Etude. It stood out to me for its very clean, clear and precise sound with really good bass authority and control for its very modest form factor. It literally is an amplifier that you can hold in one hand. And when I think about that compared to something like the Griffin Diablo 300, the Griffin wants to break your back when you try and pick it up, and the Etude you can almost fit into your pocket. And you know, there's very, very clever engineering and different engineering going into both of these two amplifiers. And I think the Etude being the most affordable way into Chord's Ultima power amplifier ownership, yeah, it really stood out to me, but for very different reasons to the Griffin. The amplifier, or really the amplifiers, that I'm going to give the best amplifiers of 2020 award to is the Canor Audio AI 1.20 as a pair, as a primary and secondary. I actually can't say the technical term that's used, as a primary and secondary pair, because you know, one Canor Audio AI 1.20 is a really nice amplifier, and if you use it with the right speakers, you know, that would make a lot of audiophiles very happy as an amplifier. But when you use two, the uplift, you know, the increase and uplift and improvement in performance going over to two really is something. Using them in a primary and secondary fashion means we get dual pure class A monoblock amplifiers and also monoblock pre-amplifiers, and they cost £12,000 for the two. So yeah, it is a lot of money for amplifiers. When I think about the competition and what other options are available to give us monoblock pure class A amplifiers with up to 100 watts of power and then monoblock pre-amplifiers, it kind of puts the Canor Audio AI 1.20s in a class of their own because of what they deliver for what they cost. Canor Audio won my best amplifier of 2019 with their tube-based AI 1.10, and they are very well-deserved winners of best amplifiers again in 2020 with the dual AI 1.20. I was so impressed with those amplifiers. So well done, Canor Audio, and very, very well-deserved. This really is not an easy one for me because I really want to give this award to Arcam for their new range of AV products, or the AVRs, AV receivers, in particular the AVR 30. The AVR 30 can deliver close to a pre and power amplifier setup type of performance with 16 channels of processing, very, very complex, you know, setup procedure, Dirac Live, of all the new features that Dirac Live have released this year. And I have worked on and calibrated lots of Arcam AVR 20s, 30s and 40s and other products this year. And the quality of sound that they can deliver in the right hands with the right system is absolutely staggeringly good. There has been a hell of a lot of bugs, issues and problems with them since their release back earlier this year, and fair play and kudos to Arcam. They have been on it and they have released firmware updates after firmware updates, and I think because of all that, because of all those issues, and I think it's not quite perfect still, I'm going to give the best home cinema product of the year to Rel Acoustics for their HT 1508 Predator subwoofers, but stacked. I have had 4 Rel Acoustics Predator subwoofers in my system now for a number of months, and criminally they haven't been on anywhere near as much as I would have liked. But when I have been reviewing or spending time with home cinema equipment, they have really impressed me with more their bass quality than their bass quantity. Obviously 4 subwoofers, 15-inch drivers, 800 watts apiece. Bass quantity is pretty much a given, but it's the quality of the bass that's really impressed me the most. And I was impressed with 1, I was very impressed with 2, and stepping up to 4 in a way is overkill, but also in a way it gets better. And I've spent some time with a system with 6 as a 4-line array, and yeah, it gets better again. Bang for buck, performance per pound, looks, and then the bass quality. And by bass quality, it's really the fast, speedy bass and the insight into bass that's really impressed me with the Predator subwoofers. And all that from a 15-inch driver, big output subwoofer, compact form factor, not crazy money, reasonably priced, and the fact that you can stack them up to 6 high for some really crazy kick-ass bass. One that stood out to me, and that should stand out I think to everybody, and you can see it there behind me, is the HiFi Audio Zendak. Because for £129, HiFi have created a very stylish, extremely well built, very good sounding USB connection based headphone amplifier with some other flexibility with it as well for £129. I don't think anything I've seen ever offers better value for money than the HiFi Audio Zendak. And as a product range, the HiFi Audio Zen products have won loads of awards across the industry press, and they are very well deserved. A similar product that you can also see there behind me is the Chord Electronics Mojo. I have used that Chord Electronics Mojo to create, I think, every single video this year, including this one. So I've used it to monitor the sound for every single video that I've created this year. So I've really worked that Mojo very hard as a desktop headphone amplifier DAC setup. It's never ever let me down. And yeah, it's still very much, a best in class. For my best headphone product of 2020, I'm actually going to award it to the Beyerdynamic DT 1770 Pro headphones that you can again see there behind me. Now, I bought these headphones purely to use to monitor the sound recordings that I do for the sound demonstration videos that I create, but I was so impressed by them. So again, pretty much every video that this year has been created by me monitoring the sound with the Chord Mojo and the Beyerdynamic headphones. And then I've extended that on to content consumption. So I monitor all the videos that I've created and watch Netflix content, Amazon Prime video content, etc. Now, they are far from perfect headphones in terms of sound quality, but they are, I think, balanced in a way that I can accept their shortcomings and appreciate the things that they do really well. They are immensely comfortable, that you can wear them for hours upon hours with no comfort fatigue. Yes, they can be a little bit fatiguing to listen to as a pair of headphones, but again, for £369, I think they are pretty damn fantastic. They might not be for every audiophile if you don't like a thicker, more full upper bass type of region. They are a little bit thick and congested sounding in that region, but again, I can forgive them for their flaws, for everything else that they do well for their given price point. And I actually prefer them to some other much more expensive headphones that I've had this year. They're not the best headphones for sound quality, but for value, price per pound, and I think just how they suit me and how I work and the other things that I do, yeah, the Beyerdynamic DT 1770 Pro, I haven't reviewed them, but I've had them on my head and spent more time listening to them than any other products this year, and they are very worthy of my best headphone products of 2020. 2020. Best hi-fi tweak or necessity, and by necessity I mean just a little play on words. Normally this would be a hi-fi or home cinema accessory, but as we all know, accessories can very quickly become necessities if they are good at what they do. So accessory, we scrub that out and it becomes hi-fi necessity, or what some audiophiles might call an hi-fi tweak. And the first product I want to talk to you about is the English Electric, or really the Chord Company 8 switch, which is an audiophile network switch. And how can a network have a sound? Well, I don't think that a network has a sound per se, but I do think the network is responsible for, you know, some noise or a lot of noise being injected into maybe our sources, our streamers, our servers, into maybe our DACs, or even maybe into our amplifiers, depending on how much stuff we have connected to the network. And you know what? I can appreciate not every audiophile is into this or would believe this. That's absolutely fine. From my own experience and my testing, and even from some of the A/B demonstration videos I've put out this year, this is definitely an area that I am focusing on for 2021. And I found the performance for what it costs from the English Electric 8 switch to be really excellent, again, for a medium cost product. The JCAT USB enhancer is another really very interesting hi-fi necessity / tweak that I've only really had access to later this year, and I've got 2 of them and I wish I had 10 of them. They have made that much of an impression on me. So much so as I want to plug them into every single USB socket of everything within my hi-fi system. Or I've even been looking into different adapters that I can use to plug them into everything within my hi-fi system. And the 2 that I've got, one of them is plugged into my music server, and the second one via an adapter is plugged into my DAC. And I can see a lot of audiophiles having fun with these in 2021. But for my best hi-fi necessity of 2020, without a doubt, goes to Tungsten Grooves for their W70 isolation feet. And I've spent quite a bit of time with these now over a number of months. I've created review videos, I've created A/B sound demonstration videos to try and give you some idea of just how effective these are as hi-fi or home cinema isolation products. And regulars to the channel will know, you know, I believe that the power of isolation is very powerful. The effectiveness of the Tungsten Grooves W70 isolation feet was really very eye-opening to me this year. The W70 isolation feet are very expensive, and they're not going to be for every audiophile as a result. To me, they are for the audiophile that has a really nice system that they're really happy with, but they just want to try and maximize, to try and eke out absolutely every ounce of performance from that system. And if you are in a position where the cost of the W70s you feel could be better served going towards a new pair of speakers, then the W70s are probably not for you. But there's a lot of audiophiles with very nice systems with the budget to buy these, and I think they would find them absolutely fantastic, as I say, for getting the maximum sound quality out of their hi-fi components and maybe even their speakers. And I've found them to just give, you know, whatever you put them under or maybe even on top of, more solidity and more foundation to their sound, i.e. bass, less edginess, more focus, more crispness. Really very effective. And I think for the right audiophile, these are going to be a great addition to get even more sound quality from their systems. And this one is very easy for me. Initially, I want to sing the praises of the Chord Electronics Hugo M Scaler, which I still think is the best digital audio thing since sliced bread. And more recently this year, the Chord Electronics Hugo TT2 DAC, because I actually think the TT2, as I mentioned in its review, is a perfect modern hi-fi component that does more than 4 different things and does them all to an exceptional high level. It's a great sounding DAC. It's a very good sounding headphone amplifier. It's a very good sounding preamplifier. And for some audiophiles, it could even be, you know, a very good amplifier, even though technically it's not designed to be an amplifier. I'm actually going to go really to two products that are really very niche products, but they've really made a personal big impact on me, my listening, my sound qualities, and I think they represent so much. I think they represent where music servers, where music streamers, and really where digital audio playback is going for the future. JCat released the USB card XC and the Net card XC. Both of these products show us that music servers, streamed music, even in 2020, there's still better sound to come. There's still better sound available. And I just find that really, really exciting. And I think for JCat to be able to create these products, and continually advance them and develop them is really impressive. So for me, my best digital hi-fi products of 2020 go to JCat for their USB and network XC based cards. So that just leaves one main category, the best speakers of 2020. But there are some other very standout products that don't quite fit into these categories that I want to talk about and really, give some praise towards. The ATC SCM50 speakers with the ATC P2 power amplifier. And I've been so impressed. It's not easy to put the speakers in the best speakers category or the amplifier in the best amplifier category because I haven't really reviewed them individually. They've been reviewed as one, but as a pairing or a duo, it's definitely one of the best sounding hi-fi products that I've had in for review, full stop, and definitely this year. I also want to give a standout product praise or award to GI Acoustics for their foam-based acoustic panels that you can see around me and that you could see behind me, and that I made a review and did an A/B demonstration for earlier in the year. They are obviously more affordable, easier to install, still deliver very good quality performance for really foam-based panels, and they look really, really nice. And the last product, or really a service, that I want to give a standout product award to in 2020 is to Qobuz for their music streaming platform. Qobuz has really impressed me with its platform, its selection of music, its variety and high numbers of high quality music up into high resolution, up to 192 kilohertz 24-bit. The quantity of that, I think probably the best thing for me, is its recommendation system. I've found several artists and albums that Qobuz has recommended to me this year that I would never have known about otherwise. And I think Qobuz is slightly more expensive as a monthly subscription compared to some other services, but what are we in this for? We're in hi-fi because we want the best sound quality, and it can't get any better than the source quality. I've reviewed quite a lot of very premium speakers up in the £10,000 plus speakers, and all of those speakers at that price point have stood out to me for different reasons, and they should do. They should stand out when you're spending around £10,000 or more on speakers. They should all stand out, and they do. And speakers at that price point, they do stand out as being higher quality speakers than speakers at maybe lesser prices. But you know what? This year has been really interesting to me, and it's the more affordable speakers that have really stood out to me this year. Starting with the £249 Wharfdale Diamond 12.1. They was delivering for me a ridiculously good sound quality for £249. And yes, I was pushing them hard to deliver it, but they delivered it. For £249, the Diamond 12.1s are really nicely built, really nice looking, high quality, and they feel premium. I don't know how Wharfdale are able to make those speakers that good for that price point. While we're talking about Wharfdale, the Wharfdale Linton Heritage speakers. When I look back at all the measurements of speakers that I've taken this year in my room, nothing beat the Wharfdale Linton Heritage for a smooth and even and balanced in-room frequency response. The only speakers that got close to that were the Think Team Borg speakers at over £22,000. The Wharfedale Linton Heritage, I think £1,100, including the stands, measured fantastic, and they sounded fantastic as well. This big, rich, musical experience that just makes you forget your hi-fi, critique type mindset and just enjoy music. A real highlight for me as a reviewer was to spend some time and review some Wilson audio speakers. The TuneTop speakers, yes, they are very expensive speakers, but they are speakers that there's certain qualities about them that you just can't appreciate until you see them in the flesh. I think really you hold them in your hands. But my best speakers of 2020 factor in everything: price, build quality, performance, sound quality, what I was able to achieve from them personally, and everything rolled into one. I think the best speakers for me of 2020 are the Wharfedale Evo 4.2. And as a lot of people have commented in the sound demonstration video that I created for them, some people have even not believed that video was a genuine recording. The sound quality from them was that good. And I know they cost more in the US, but here in the UK, the Wharfedales cost under £600 in that really nice curved finished cabinet, three-way speaker system, a soft dome mid-range driver, which you normally wouldn't see on speakers that cost anything less than thousands and thousands of pounds, for under £600. For what these speakers are capable of, yes, they're not perfect. And yeah, I did have to push them around a little bit to get that really good sound quality out of them, but they did it. They delivered it. And I think they are a fantastic speaker for that price point. It just does everything really well. And the best speakers of 2020 are the Wharfedale Evo 4.2. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful and helpful. I hope you've enjoyed all the reviews that I've created this year, 48 of them, plus all the other videos. If you want more details, want more information, check the video description box. Thank you very much for watching. Huge thank you if you've watched the whole video to the end, and I'll see you soon. Take care.